Well, Amari Garrett is a student at Denison University in Granville, Ohio. He recently wrote a piece for the student newspaper in which he says people shouldn't try to play devil's advocate. In other words, they shouldn't ask demanding questions for the sake of understanding opposing views. Doing so, he says, leads, quote, to the security of hate speech under the guise of free speech, which normalizes and makes space for microaggressions, segregation, exclusion, and prejudice. It's easy to make fun of that, hard to understand it, but we must say Amari Garrett was brave enough to come on tonight, and we're grateful for that. So it's good to see you, Amari.
Thank you, Tucker.
So first off, I guess it seems to me the key phrase in the paragraph I just read is hate speech. Mm-hmm. It's not a constitutionally recognized idea. As you know, there's no such thing actually as hate speech. But tell me how it's interpreted on your campus. What's hate speech?
Well, hate speech is speech that comes out of the rhetoric that targets certain groups or individuals because of who they are or their social location in society. And what's more about hate speech is that it usually incites violence and brings harm to these people who white nationalists and white supremacists often target.
So it's speech that targets groups because of their immutable characteristics. So if you were to say, for example, I don't like you because I don't know you, but I see your skin color, you're a beneficiary of white privilege. Would that be hate speech? I'm attacking you because of your membership in a group. It could incite violence. Would that qualify as hate speech?
Most definitely. I think
so
when we are attacking people because of who they are and where they're situated in society, we don't look at where we can change that and how we can reshape society.
Right. Okay. I mean, I agree with you that that's wrong. Mm-hmm. We just did a segment on it actually about 3 minutes ago, and I sincerely agree with you on that. It's wrong. It happens a lot in our society, and I don't like it. The question, though, is should you try to prevent people from expressing their views even if you dislike them? So, like, do you think it's okay to keep someone from talking if you disagree with that person?
No. So these aren't simple disagreements that we're talking about here. Oftentimes when we're talking about topics of hate speech and free speech and the way in which rhetoric and speech has become so important is because of the demagoguery that has been witnessed throughout the recent election. And oftentimes, historically, the university has been a place of politics, debate, and speech. And so this is nothing new. We know that people like to espouse white nationalists and white supremacist views at campuses around the country and even around the world.
But I guess what is, I mean, that's a debatable point that you just made. But the first point you made is not debatable, that traditionally colleges have been a place where people can say what they think, even if other people disagree. What's new, and I'm old enough to remember it, is that now students like you are saying, no, you're not allowed to express those views here.
Yes,
that's a new thing.
Yes, it is. It is a new thing, and it's because we are now at a space in society where we're concerned for the safety of people, right? And so we have a change in society where we are no longer allowing groups of people to be targeted and come under the harm that
how many, just at Denison, I've been to Denison in Granville, Ohio, how many students have been killed by white supremacists on your campus recently?
No, nobody's been killed by white supremacy, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people living under the stress of white supremacy and white supremacist views. So if I make plenty of white supremocists on the campus of Denison, so and if you speak to
right, but hold on. You said that there was the fear of imminent violence, but you're conceding there hasn't actually been any violence. So the standard is if I make you uncomfortable. It's not about fear of imminent violence.
It's about enabling people to carry out microaggressions, rather that be the use of the N-word, the use of different speech. And we're not just talking about.
But what about hold on? When you watch television and you see, like in Berkeley, people with black handkerchiefs over their faces hitting other people with chair legs or spraying them with bear spray. That's actual violence, I think you'd agree. And they're on the left. Does that kind of challenge the storyline?
And the violence that's occurred from the left has been entirely reactionary to the white nationalist violence that has come from groups like the KKK and come from white nationalists. Because white nationalists are completely invested in violence. White nationalists target
I wish we had time for me. I don't want to be mean because you're just a kid, but I wish I knew
using violence.
Who taught you this stuff. I wish. Tell your professor, whoever taught you this stuff, to come on the show because I'd love to talk to him. You're brave to come on, though, and I appreciate it. We're out of time, sadly. Thanks so much.